And as we reflect upon the geopolitical and historical ramifications of 9/11, 19 years ago this month, the Trump White House has counted landmark victories in its foreign policy. One America's Rion has more from Washington.
The Trump White House has accomplished a feat once thought impossible: peace in the Middle East, a normalization of relations between Muslim-majority countries and Israel. Within a matter of weeks leading up to the 19th commemoration of 9/11, reflecting on 2020's remembrance of 9/11, State Department spokeswoman Morgan Ortagus tells One American News this remembrance is different from all others.
9/11 is always such a somber day for so many of us who were affected by it, and so many of us who the trajectory of the course of our life changed because of 9/11. A lot of people like me went into government service or went into the military because of what happened with that dark day. This is the first time on an anniversary of 9/11 that I've been hopeful and that I've been excited. And that is because we were able to honor the memory of everyone who not only died in 9/11, but the members of our military and civilians who have passed away in the wars in Afghanistan over the past 19 years. We were able to honor them through the president's vision for peace that brought together Israel and the Kingdom of Bahrain, because I've worked for all three presidents, so this is the third administration that I have been in and been a part of. President Bush on 9/11 the whole country was dealt a devastating blow. He very quickly became a wartime president, incredibly decisive, especially when he had to make decisions about Iraq and Afghanistan. But we started to see a shift under President Obama. I think that administration knew that things were starting to move and pivot towards Asia.
On Tuesday, the White House is to host a historic signing of the Abraham Accords between the UAE and Israel and Bahrain and Israel. The Palestinian Authority, however, did not take well to the news of Middle East peace. Ortega says the Palestinian people are suffering under the corrupt leadership in these remarkable times.
It's important to remember that, we have a softness and a fondness for many of the Palestinian people who are victims of leadership who don't have their best interest at heart. I mean, their leadership is largely corrupt and is stealing money from them and has no interest in peace. And they're thinking about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict in ways that people thought about it 30 years ago and 50 years ago. Through President Trump's vision for peace for the Middle East that he laid out earlier this year, in February of this year, we are saying, and Israel is saying, that we want the Palestinians to have a state, we want them to have statehood, we want them to come to the negotiating table, and so far, their leadership has refused to do so.
The week was also marked by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo flying to Doha, Qatar, to oversee a historic negotiation between Afghani leadership and the Taliban.
Remember, what Secretary Pompeo and Ambassador Zal Khalilzad are trying to do is the hardest stuff that we do in diplomacy. We're trying to take an insurgency that has been fighting us and fighting the government for 19 years and trying to bring them to the table for negotiations and dialogue to create a new future for Afghanistan. It's going to be hard, but we believe under the leadership of President Trump that we have the ability to get to this agreement.
An agreement that has taken nearly 2 years to reach. If successful, it too will be another remarkable accomplishment in the Trump White House's list of foreign policy victories. Rion, One American News, the White House.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.